this is an intermediate weapon. It's to help you stop somebody from attacking you and protect yourself. You should get training from a certified instructor. This in no way, watching this video makes you competent with this device. Get training from an instructor. Any company that makes these will provide instruction. Please, if you're going to use this, get training in it and practice with it, just like your firearm, and your fighting skills. Having a baton and knowing how to use it will reduce the use of a firearm. I have a lot more confidence in this than I do a stun gun, because stun guns fail. They don't make contact right. This baton, if you're trained with it correctly and you use it correctly, it will not fail you. It will not. Maybe your training will fail you, but this will not. Baton, baton, whatever floats your boat. Officially, it's called a baton. If you want to call it a baton, what they used to say in the Secret Service is, this is a baton. A baton is what a young woman in a skirt waves around at a football game. What I used to call it, truthfully, is the steel tube of bone-breaking compliance. This is a auto-lock Monarch. It's made in the USA. So when did I start carrying this? In the early 1990s. Gary, why did you start carrying it? For defense? Because you were in the Secret Service to protect the president? Well, not exactly. I was stationed inside the White House, outside the Oval Office, and we used to wear our big long batons, and that offended some of the White House staff. They didn't like that, and so some started bitching and complaining that we were intimidating them walking around with those batons. And so then when the White House usher's office heard this, they jumped on the bandwagon, because one of the problems with the big baton was when you moved around the White House, sometimes you hit the furniture. And the usher's office is all about protecting the White House physically, the furniture, all the expensive artifacts and artwork. Anyway, the Secret Service was already issuing this to the agents, so they started training us on it. This is a 16, this might be an 18-inch, but it's a 16-inch, we'll say. That's what the Secret Service carried. That's what they issued to us. It's like any piece of equipment. It's the best thing to have when you have it. In other words, Gary, is this better than having a 4.5-foot oak baton? Here's the deal. If the 4.5-foot rosewood baton is what I'm issued, I will use it like a ninja. I will learn to use it to the most of my extent. But this is what I was issued in the uniform division. This is what I carried as an air marshal on an airplane with a Sig Sauer P229 pistol, a set of handcuffs, a key, and that was it. And learn to use it like a ninja. Learn to use it, take the training, follow the videos, practice with it, practice with it. This is a good one. It's got steel ball bearings in it. The original one we had, this was another quick funny story. The first one they issued us was a swedge fit. In other words, there wasn't ball bearings on it. When you extended it, either like this or like this, and the ball bearing ones, they don't recommend that you extend it like that, except in an emergency. But anyway, the swedge one, when you extended it, to close it, you had to hit it on something really hard. Well, the first time one of the agents or one of the officers had it out and was showing somebody, and they had to close it, and they hit it on that marble White House floor, and somebody saw it. It was like the end of the earth. It didn't chip the floor, but it could. And that's when they went to they ordered a bunch of these with the ball bearings in them. And it's a good device. I like it a lot. The one thing you have to understand about any baton, any baton device, is the power is at the end of the tip. The power that you're desiring, and the first use of this is less than deadly force. You're taught to hit people, strike people. First, you're taught to strike in a V, like this, and you check them. Check. 1, 2. And where I would be striking would be from the elbow to the shoulder, not the joints in between, those big muscles. From the wrist to the elbow, right here. From the shoulder to the hip, not the hip, but in between. And then from the hip to the knee, and then the knee to the ankle. You don't want to hit joints because you're going to break them. Now, if this scenario goes into deadly force, all's fair, love, and war. You can use this device any way you want. Again, I showed you striking in a V. If it turns into deadly force and you can justify it, yes, you can strike them in the head. But understand this, if you strike somebody in the head or the neck with this, whether accidental or on purpose, you're probably going to injure them to the point where they either have paralysis, crippled, or you're going to kill them. And I would tell you, I've used this twice in my life. I've actually struck another human with a baton. Once in the Air Force with a a riot baton, and then once in the Secret Service with this. And I would tell you, it will get their attention. Get back, get back, get back, get back, get back, get back, get down, get down, get down, get back, get back. The first thing that gets their attention is when you open it up. And yes, there's some intimidation factor. Again, you hit in a V, you can use the block forward, to the right, to the left, down, up. You can block kicks with it, you can block weapons with it. You can use it forward to stop somebody's momentum, behind to stop somebody coming up from behind you. And again, you always, when you're striking in the V, you want to check them. You want to measure them off so you're hitting them in the right place. It's a great weapon. Again, learn to use it. If you're one of those people who is in law enforcement or the military and you just carry this around like a decoration, then you're going to end up probably getting killed with it. Learn how to use it. Learn how to use it. Typically, when people train you to use it, you carry it on the same side as you do your firearm, because you use it so much of your firearm. In other words, it's your go-to weapon for defense. Let's say I have it out and things change really fast, and I need to adjust. Let's say the attack's coming from behind me. So I look back, here comes somebody right up behind me. I shove my arm back, I take my left hand, I cover my pistol, and now I'm ready to fight in a V. Striking in a V, striking a V. Give them directions. Get down, get back, I don't want to hurt you. Get down, get back, I don't want to hurt you. Get down, get back, I don't want to hurt you. Get down, get back, I don't want to hurt you. You don't have to keep saying it. Say it long enough so people hear it, and then save your life, save your partner's life. If it goes to deadly, if you strike them one time and they fall down on the ground and throw their hands up, it's over. It's over. Don't put the baton away right away. Like a firearm, cover your partner, and then do the procedure accordingly. If somebody is coming at you, you don't even have to open and use it. It is legitimate to take it. Again, they're coming forward, you check them and jab them in the abdomen with it. Or if you're going to punch somebody, if you're going to throw a punch, keep this in your hand. It's like having something in your hand to make your hand stronger. But I will warn you, if you practice with this and the baton gets broken in, when you punch somebody, this happened to me, the baton may open up. That's fine. So now it's open. So you put your other hand on there and use it as a blocking device, or jabbing, or you strike in the V. It is a good equalizer. It has its limits like everything else. I'll give you a real life example. I'm an air marshal on an airplane one time going to Germany, and there's this guy, it keeps paying a lot of attention up to the flight deck. He's asking the flight attendant weird questions. So I get up and I walk up to the flight deck, and as I'm talking to him and talking to the flight attendant, two other people get up. Now I don't know who these people are, but they're sitting in the same area as him, and they get up, and one comes up one aisle and one comes up the other aisle. Now that may not sound suspicious to you, but it does to me, because they were both sitting on the same side and they split up and went around, and they came towards me. So I put my hand on my baton. It was in my little vest that I wear. I put my hand on my baton and I was ready to pull it out. And as they walked up, they stopped, and in my mind mentally, I measured myself off from all three of them. The first guy I was talking to was the closest. He was going to get an elbow. That was going to be my first thing. He was going to get an elbow. I was going to break out my baton. I was going to jab the other two, and then I was dropping the baton and going to the pistol. A little bit different scenario because I'm on an airplane, and at this point I believe we're under attack. Now let's change the scenario. I'm a police officer on the street, and I'm interviewing somebody. My partner's interviewing somebody, and three people come across the street, and then three more people come across the street. So I put my hand on my baton, and the first thing somebody's going to say to me, because they can see me put my hand on my baton and maybe pull it out, they're going to say, "Hey, what are you doing with that?" I'm going to say, "Yeah, I'm holding on to it," or don't say anything. And then if they keep coming closer, extend the baton. This is not like your firearm. Firearm, you're not allowed to say, "Hey, don't cross the street, I will shoot you." You can't do that. But with a baton, you can extend it, you can justify that. There's two police officers, and there's 5, 6 people, and there's people across the street. Yeah, I was trying to intimidate them. I was trying to show them that I mean business. Absolutely, Your Honor. So I stand there with my baton. Does it caution them? Maybe. If something happens, I'm ready. If all of a sudden they back up and things go completely docile, that's it. I don't need it anymore. Things change, pull it back out. And like anything else, when you're training for it, train to as realistic as you can. get yourself exhausted and then practice with it. That's realistic. Learn how to use it forward, backwards. Learn how to punch with it. Learn how to switch hands with it. You learn how to use your other hand. Maybe this hand gets hurt. Maybe this hand's holding on to the other guy and you got to use your other hand. Practice with it. It will feel odd like anything else, like when you practice shooting with your other hand. But you can teach yourself the motor skills you need to use this in the proper way.